Hey guys, it's the Birdman. Today is October 26th. Got a chicken up on the roof. I have to say I've had these banny chickens. Actually this is the only hen. And then I got two roosters, but I've had my banny chickens for, she might come to me, for, I don't know, a few months. And one of the things that I just love about them is that they fly. I mean, they don't fly real far, but I don't know. The other chickens, I mean, sure, they lay eggs, and that's nice, but the banny chickens, they'll flap on my shoulder, on my arm. She was just hanging out on the roof of our shed. And there's one of the banny roosters flying up in my mom's chair. He's probably going to come up here. That's Scissors. Come here, Scissors. Come here. He may not. Also, I just like that they're small chickens. They're real pretty. But, alright, go on. But, yeah, I do like my banny chickens. If I had to choose between having the big chickens, we got white leghorn here, brown leghorn, black sex-link, two Americanos, that one and that one. That one always looks real rough when she molts, I don't know why. Got an Americana rooster over there. He's real pretty, but he tries to be the boss. He'll come after me every now and then. I hit him pretty hard with a stick earlier, and he's keeping his distance. He tests his luck every now and then. But if I had to choose between having banny chickens, having big chickens, I'd definitely choose banny chickens. No competition. I mean, I'm sure she lays eggs by now. I don't know where she lays them though, or how often. But there's my nice looking rooster right there, who's in my shadow. There you go. But they're a lot more docile. Of course, no one can beat LaQuisha here. Just pick her up. Anyways, my videos aren't really about chickens though. They're about pigeons. And I don't have a lot of time, so I best move on to the pigeons. Not much going on in here. They got food, they got water, they're hanging out. I could do to clean the loft. Maybe that'll be a good project for Saturday. I don't work Saturday. Today is Thursday, so. Anyways, not really doing much with these birds right now. I'm eventually going to breed that recessive red cock right there. He's got less white on him. Eventually I'd like to have some solid red rollers, and eventually find a dun hen, which if y'all don't know dun, kind of just like slang for dilute. Dilute is a gene which makes their colors lighter and you know, dilutes the color. And I'd like to make solid yellows one day, so eventually I'll breed him. I'll probably breed him to Victoria. She's the only completely solid bird I have, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I could breed him to that one, and they'd probably produce some pretty solid babies, but that one's got some piebald in it too, so they'd probably also produce some babies with more piebald on them than they have. It's just kind of funny what piebald does when you start playing around with it. When you keep it pretty uniform, just breeding bald heads to bald heads and everything, that usually stays pretty much the same. But when you start taking, after it starts to move areas or to be more or less, and you breed, I don't know, it's just kind of fun to play with. But I'm definitely going to breed him. You can see he's a nice black spread, and then there's his brother right there. Now I don't know how well y'all can tell because they're all flying around, and we kind of got the sunlight shining here, kind of got a shadow. Anyways, y'all can see he's got more markings to him, whereas this one's just a better solid black. So, and I'd like to have some solid black rollers, so I'm going to be breeding him. What I'm probably going to do is breed him to this red check right here. And the reason for that is I would like to have some spread ash reds. Oh, that's what's happening. I've been listening to my fan. I've got the fan running because I forgot to close the windows in the loft and some rain blew in, and it's drying out pretty well. But I forgot to. But I've got the fan. You can see the fan down there. I've got the fan plugged up, and I keep hearing it sound like it's getting weaker, and then it'll pick back up. Worried there was something wrong with it, but I just figured out it's that the wind, when it blows this way, comes in the windows on the other side of that loft and blows through the fan. And that's what I'm hearing. But so anyways, I'm going to breed the two of them. Really, I could do it now if I wanted to. Willie had paired up to her. She laid some eggs. I know that she's sexually mature. Her eggs should be fertile. She's already, her first couple of eggs probably were not fertile, but now they should be. So I could put them together and probably get eggs pretty quick whenever I want to. But I'm still trying to breed homers, and I'll explain about that in a minute. I really like the way that cross turned out, just that kind of gray color. I also like the way its brother turned out, but I'm not planning on breeding them. I don't want any more of these crosses. I mean, really, technically they're mutts. They've got too much white on them to make still frill stencil roller. Anyways, getting my tongue tied. Though I still think that that may be the prettiest bird I've ever bred out. You'll have seen her before, but see if I can't get her to move where you can see better. That indigo. There we go. Beautiful bird. But right now I'm trying to breed out these. That's an indigo check. Checks and bars both are fine. That one looks pretty rough because it is molting. But I'm breeding its parents. They've got two babies. Y'all seen them, but they were still real little, so I'll show them to you. Also, that's a hen, and I could breed it to whoever I wanted. Honestly, its mom is recessive red. I could breed it to this cock, and I'd probably get some reds out of it. Though, even though it's called recessive red, my understanding is that recessive red is actually a dominant gene. Honestly, it pretty much has to be, because its dad I bred to two blue hens, and produced recessive reds both times. Just accidentally kicked this chicken, didn't realize it was behind me. Anyways, sorry chicken, but she wants some food is what she wants. Here chicken. Oh, there's LaQuisha. Anyways, I don't know. I could do that if I wanted to. Right now, I'm not going to worry about it, though. What we're going to do is step into the red loft, and I've got a lot more to show you. Alright, we're in the red loft now. There's a bit more to show you in here. There's a lot going on, including this baby being kind of stuck. There it goes. It's trying to get back in its nest, and now it is. Anyways, I actually made a video in here to post because there was stuff going on, but I never got around to posting it. Had so much going on. Willie, you're causing a scene. Come here. So, now I got Willie, and he's whacking me in the face. Anyways, big news. One of my young birds that I lost 2 months ago, a blue check roller that I bought at the auction, has come home. Let me close this. Anyways, here she is. I don't know if y'all remember her or not. Well, you ought to, because this pigeon is the one that was carrying the pigeon cam when I did the release from Food Line, which was before I lost them. Well, obviously it was before I lost them because I still have the camera. She was, just a reminder, she was not wearing the camera on the release that they got lost on. So I still have the camera still works, it's completely fine. But she is home now. She's in perfect condition. She's fat, if anything, really. Not really fat, but just trying to get it across to you. She's really good weight. Her feathers are perfect. Looks like she's molted out while she's been gone, which 2 months is long enough to molt out. Where she's been, I don't know, but I would tend to think that she was in someone else's loft. Anyways, I'm breeding her to Ash, who is a Ash Red Bar that I hand raised. Ash, look at me, look at me. He's not going to look at me. And he's slipping out of my hand because he's a big boy now, but he's at a good weight too. So I'm going to breed them. Y'all remember I had that pair of rollers right there. Had them in here, but she's still not up to a good breeding weight, so kicking them out of their nest box, not letting them have a nest is a good way to help her to be eating more and not be worrying about breeding, which she hasn't. She hasn't laid a single egg, which is good because I don't want her to right now. But I just want her to be with her mate because when she is ready to breed, I want to be able to get eggs out of her, as quickly as possible. But don't want to rush that with her being as thin as she is. Hershey's right here. Y'all remember he's been with us as long as I've had my channel. He's had him for years. He's being bred to this tiger grizzle hen that I never actually named. And they've produced this baby here. Again, not a recessive red. Not sure what's going on with that. I would have expected it to come out recessive red. She's recessive red. He's recessive red. Just she's got tiger grizzle and he's got piebald. But why it's blue? Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, he's a blue. He's got blue and ash red in him. If I grab him here, which is usually easy, but he's wanting to stay away from me. Come here, Hershey's. Come here. What is your problem? Alright, I'm going to use my right hand. Alright, caught him on the wing. Anyways, look at that. You can see that gray feather there. Hold him up in the light. You can see the black on it. There's another one right there. What that is those are his feathers that are not affected by the recessive red. And they're ash gray, obviously from the ash red. But then he's also got some black flecking in there. And you can see one on his wing there. Well, you could. Anyways, so he's ash red and blue. He's got both. So does this one right here. But so that's where the blue came from. I don't know what color she is under her recessive red. She may be blue. She's probably blue under her recessive red. So that's. So I don't know if it's gonna be a cock or hen or what, but these guys over here. So Victoria, that blue check, paired to Spot, that indigo spread, produced this indigo spread. Not surprising. Completely would expect that from them. It's got less piebald because the mom doesn't have any. However, and she's kind of attacking me now. What I am surprised by is this. This is a recessive red. She's not recessive red. He's not recessive red. Where that red color came from, I have no idea. Because that's not what it's not indigo. I mean, it might be indigo, but the color is not from indigo. It could carry it, I don't know, but wouldn't be surprised if it does. But the color is not from indigo. That's recessive red. Now it's biting me. But I'm kind of puzzled by that. I don't know if maybe another bird laid an egg in their nest. I wouldn't think so because they only got the two and they've always laid 2 eggs before. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. I guess it must be from them. I mean, I haven't moved eggs around or anything, so there's not any chance that I switched them. These satinettes have not wanted to be paired up at all, so I've put them back in here. They've been in here for about 5 minutes, so don't worry about them not having water. Like I said, they've been in here about 5 minutes, but I want to go ahead and get my video underway. That's one of my young birds. That's the one I had to drive to pick up. Bentley, which is actually a girl, is paired up to this blue check cock right here. And they are paired up. They spend a lot of time in the nest box together, but still no eggs. April and Angel. April is where is he? Oh, he's right here in front of me. April is an indigo, indigo spread, and with plenty of white. See if I can get you to put out your wing there. Not really. With the babies, I can tilt them forward and they'll put out their wing. But the old birds know I'm not going to drop them, so he's not concerned. He's probably a little irritated that I'm holding him this way, but he's not scared. He knows I'm not going to drop him, so he won't put out his wing. A young bird will put out their wing to stop him. Maybe I can do this. Oh well. Anyways, he's got an all-white tail. He's got an all-white wing. That's his dad right there. He came out with more white than his dad did, obviously. And his daughter, right here, came out with even more. I don't even have to spread out her wing. I mean, you can see she's got all white wings. So I paired them up. They did lay 2 eggs. I put them both in the incubator because he does not have a good track record as far as raising babies. He so far only gotten 2 fertile eggs out of them before, and well, I mean, I got 2 eggs out. 1 died each time. Only 2 ever hatched. 1, Angel right there, obviously was okay, though she was a little thin, and his second baby didn't even survive. His mother was, his dad has done just fine compared to other birds, so I'm assuming that it was just that it had something to do with his mom. His mom was real broody, but they didn't have a good track record for babies either. He's the only one I've gotten from them. I got 2 that made it, and then 1 got sick and died a couple months later. 1 hit its head on the house and died. They've had eggs that haven't hatched. They've had eggs die. They've had babies die. And like I said, April's the only one of their babies I still got, and he's one of only 3 that ever raised to maturity. So anyways, obviously not a good track record for raising babies with their family. So I took the eggs and I put them in the incubator, and to my surprise, they are both fertile. Last time I checked them a couple of days ago, they were both fertile, both growing. Everything was good. So hopefully they will both hatch. They will be healthy. And cross your fingers, they will be solid white. That is my goal. Willie, you're in my shot. Thank you. Anyways, so that is the goal, is to produce solid white rollers. Willie, you're in the way from them. So we'll see. Even if they're not solid white, they should be a lot more white. Any improvement is good. Again, I'm going to try and raise quite a few babies out of them, and then we'll start crossing them back again, and we'll see how it goes. This satin net, the pair of satin nets I've been trying to breed for about 2 years. I finally had success. Y'all remember I had 4 eggs from them, 2 went in the incubator and hatched, and then 2 went in the incubator. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but they both died. Video cut out. The satin nets that hatched, y'all have seen them, and they had kind of short beaks. Well, these guys, only one of their eggs hatched, one of their eggs died, but 1 baby is better than no babies, and it's best we've done so far. Anyways, I'm kind of regretting not hand raising it, but because its mom is mean, and so if I don't, it's probably going to be mean too. But anyways, look at that beak. Its beak is a lot shorter than the other pigeon's beaks, and basically that means they're only half satinet. So I don't know what she bred with to make the babies that I've got inside, but she bred with either a roller or a homer, and their colors, by looking at their colors, it's obvious they're not satinet. So I was really wondering what in the world was up with that. Maybe they were going to look different when they molted out, but now that this baby's hatched and has a shorter beak, it's pretty clear that she bred with some other pigeon. Anyways, so what else? Coco and Swift, I've got 2 babies from them inside and 4 eggs from them in the incubator, and nothing else at the moment. And my black hen there, who again has been getting better at flying and can get up in here now. I used to have to keep a waterer down here for her, but she can get up there now without too much trouble. Obviously that wing is messed up. You can see she's holding it lower, but she can get up here now, so she's improving. Anyways, she and her mate have still not laid any eggs, and I have determined that their babies were the ones that died, that were smothered by the other baby pigeons, so I still have no pigeons raised up from them. Also, I've been talking about breeding homers. Y'all remember I said I was not going to breed any more homers. I know I've said this, but just in case y'all aren't remembering or you're new to my channel, I'm actually selling the babies from my homers. There's a guy trying to join my club, and he wanted as many homers as he could get to be able to breed next year. He actually wants 30. Unfortunately, don't think I'm going to be able to raise 30 for him in time. I could raise 30 for him, could raise more than 30, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it in time for him to breed them. But I'm going to talk to him about that. We'll see how things go. Willie's really hoping I have something for him. Hey, Willie. Actually, probably Willie just... Y'all remember that Willie, he made it up to me, and I am his mate now, and he's really fond of that. And it's kind of weird, but it's better than him biting me, I guess. Y'all know I love Willie. He's weird. He's kind of a pervert, but I love Willie. Anyways, it's enough flirting with my hand. So let's see. Also, price. I'm selling them to him for $20 a piece, and I've pretty much decided I'm never going to do that again, because I was selling them to him at cost. Pretty much. I'm not sure exactly how much they eat in formula, but it's pretty close to $20. Honestly, it's closer than I think I realized when I sold them to him. I'm putting about a month's effort into each and every one of them, and I'm really not getting paid for it. So, that's a lot of work to do for free, and honestly, I could be losing a little money depending on how much that formula they eat and how much they waste. So $20 is too little. Of course, they're worth a lot more than that. I was just trying to do something nice for him. But we'll see how it goes. So the only other thing is this pair right here. They're still not wanting to breed. They laid an egg, but it either died or wasn't. No, it wasn't. It died. It wasn't fertile. That's what it was. So yeah, I think it's time to take y'all inside and show y'all the babies. Someone asked me to do a video on hand feeding them, which I've been meaning to do. I just haven't really had the time. And also, I'm sure y'all want an update on how they're doing, how the eggs are doing. So we'll go inside now and I do that. Say bye, Willie. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said bye. Alright, so first off, start off with the incubator. Stays right at about 100 degrees. Tomato styrofoam. I don't remember what kind it is. I showed you in my last video though. This is the last baby pigeon that hatched. When it hatched, its beak was really short, but now it's not. So it's almost like it hatched with an underdeveloped beak and then it grew. I'm really not sure, but it looks fine now. It's a homer. These are the 2 roller eggs that are hopefully going to be white. And then all 4 of these homer eggs are from Coco and Swift. That one actually, I think that one is too, that baby. This right there is where I sit them when it's time for them to hatch, and they stay there while I'm waiting on them to be ready. They should, I think the next roller egg should hatch, or the first roller egg should hatch November 1st, and the other should hatch a few days later. That Saturday, whatever the first Saturday in November is. Alright, so here are the older babies. This is where they hang out during the day. They stay in this going to and from and staying at school. It's just a pet carrier. Anyways, but they can run around and flap their wings, everything in here. So that's the first baby. Obviously a cross between a satinet and something else. You can tell by its longer beak and its black feathers. So, not sure what its dad is, but it looks basically just like Willie, which would be its half-brother. I don't think, not its full brother though, because Willie's dad was not in the loft. This is the other one, probably a full-blooded sibling, also a cross. It is younger, but it's still smaller than it should be. You can tell by looking at its feathers. They don't look very good. It's a runt, and it's not doing well. It's growing, but not very quickly. That one's eating some seeds. Anyways, and the main reason for that being, it does not like to eat. It just doesn't. Not really sure why. I've had that happen twice before with rollers, and they did make it to adulthood. They're both doing just fine now, but Their feathers looked like rags when they were, after they grew up. They couldn't fly very well. It wasn't until after they molted out that they started looking good. Then these two homers are from Coco and Swift, and they both seem to be learning to eat because they're eating seeds now. This one's going to be a blue grizzle, and this one's going to be either a red check or a red grizzle. I'm not sure yet. Thinking grizzle. I think it's just going to be a dark colored red grizzle. They're at least picking up food. No, I saw it eat that one. But it's about time to feed them, so we'll get a video of that for you, hopefully. And then of course fresh water there for them to drink, and they're wanting to eat. And they've been still in the water, and you can see where some of the seeds have actually sprouted. But I think my understanding is that sprouted grains are actually better for them than normal ones. And I just changed that water. It's been there for about a minute, and now it already has pine shavings back in it, so that's nice. Covering them would not be a bad idea. So, I'm selling these two online for $50 a piece, which still is really not that much. They're worth more than that. I said online. It's on a group I'm part of on Facebook. So if anyone was interested in them, I am selling them for $50 a piece, which would be more than you would want to pay for that if you just wanted something in your loft. But they make good pets when they're hand raised, so that's why they're as expensive as they are. Though still, it's really not that much for all the work I've put into them and all the food they've eaten. But that's what I'm going to be doing. So if any of y'all have any interest in that, y'all can comment. But I'm not really driving anywhere, so you've got to be able to come get them. I live in Davidson County. I'm not really going to say where I live, of course. If someone actually was going to buy them, then I would work that out with them. But, you know, if I need to drive 15 minutes to meet someone in a Walmart parking lot or something, that would be one thing. But, you know, I'm not going very far. So, I haven't checked Facebook to see if anyone has commented on that, though. So we'll see. But they all seem to be eating. That one's at least picking up food if it's not actually eating it. So I'll do a video of me feeding them here in a minute. Alright, so I just pulled the youngest baby out of the incubator. Really, it's old enough now I could keep it on a heating pad if I wanted. But it's still an incubator. It's just easier that way. And it is sitting on top of a 22-pound bucket of KT Exact hand feeding formula, which I just refill this 1-pound container with it. This is just easier to carry it around in. And my sister is going to film for me because I've tried this multiple times with a tripod and it does not go very well. So I think that y'all should be able to handle this part pretty easy, but I'm going to show you anyways. Cutting a hole in the cup. My knife is a little dull, so I have to rock it back and forth. Try not to cut too deep. Just cut a slit. And of course the size will vary depending on the size of the beak of the baby you're feeding. I found that a taller slit works better than a wider one. They like to feel something pressing on the side of their beaks, but they also like to be able to open their beaks nice and wide. So they like it more like that. Anyways, we're going to be feeding the youngest one first, which would be with this one right here. It's got a pretty little hole. Get the water hot. I've had hot water sitting in this mug for a minute just to warm it up so I don't lose any more heat than I need to. Though that baby's old enough now, it's not as important. These 1-pound containers come with a little blue scoop. Right now, I'm going to use about half of it for that baby. And it's not going to eat that much, but I can reuse it. So, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So, we're just going to mix a little bit of water at a time. That's too liquidy there, but it will thicken up. There we go. Kind of like grits. It thickens up. So you can see, you can hold the camera higher so you can see in there without the, hopefully y'all can see that now. There we go. Alright, you're good. But you want it pretty liquidy for the younger babies. If y'all can see in there, see how it goes kind of right through the forks, but don't make it watery. You don't want it like water.
Tilt it up. Like that.
Anyways, y'all can see. Anyways, you'll be able to see better when I pour it into the cup. So it flows in nice and easy. The less you make, the harder it is to get it mixed good. But it'll be alright. That doesn't look like very much, but it's more than you realize. And the baby's still small. It only eats so much. It already knows what to do, but I'll help it a little bit. Stick its beak in there and just vibrate the cup a little bit. You don't want to shake it too hard. You don't want to violently thrash its head back and forth. But just a little bit of twitching of the fingers, just to make there be a little motion. And he's pulled his head out for a breathe, but he'll probably want a little more. He might not. He might be done. Nope, I think he's done. And his crop is nice and rounded off. He's messy, so we're going to rinse him off because this stuff is like concrete after it dries. Lukewarm water, a little warmer when they're younger. And put him back. And I'm going to go stick him in the incubator, and then we'll do the others real quick. Alright, so also I just rinsed out the cup so that I can reuse it. And what I should have done was dump the last of the food that was left in there back into this mug. But I wasn't paying attention and just rinsed it out at the sink. But it wasn't very much, so it's not really going to matter. But next we're going to do the smallest satinette cross. And I do it by itself just because it's not doing well. So I use an actual Dixie cup, one of the little ones, with a smaller hole for it. Whereas the other three all eat out of one of these big cups, and I just mix it all up for them at once. Which is the easiest way to do it, and I used to do them all four that way, but the younger one just isn't doing well, so I still think it'll be okay. It's just going to be slow growing up. I'm going to have to feed it for longer. It's not going to look real great at first. Just a little bit of water at a time, and if you think it's too runny, give it a moment, because it'll probably thicken up. And if you think it's right, give it a moment. It'll probably thicken up. You'll probably have to add a little more water. Anyways, that's good right there. So now, honestly, it should be able to eat most of this, but it's not going to, and I know that. So here's the little baby. And of course it knows the drill. Just like that. And see, it acts like it wants to eat, but it's like it doesn't eat very much. Actually, it's doing a little better this time than it usually does, which is good. So, actually it's doing really well today. It did not do well at lunchtime. That's all it's going to eat. So just rinse it off. The younger they are, the less messy they usually get. I'll rinse the cup out in a minute. I'm not going to take up camera time with that. How much, what's the time say on it?
2:20.
Okay. 2. They each eat about a scoop. Actually, they eat a little more than that probably, but there's still a little bit I just scraped back in from the Dixie cup. Anyway. This always takes the longest to mix up just because I have to add so much water to it. Over and over and over again. But it is a time saver in that they can all eat out of one cup. Now the older they are, the thicker we want to make it. Honestly, that's probably about good. See, it doesn't really flow through the fork prongs very well anymore. It does, but it takes a little bit of time. You can see it runs off kind of smooth. It's thickened up a little now. Add a little more water, but I want it kind of thick for them once they get older. So that's really just fine right there. Rinse my fork off so I don't make as much of a mess laying it on the counter. Check to make sure this hole's large enough. I think it will be. I guess we'll see. I wouldn't pour it all in at once, just because the more that's in there, the more weight and more pressure it's putting on this hole and trying to push food back out this hole. Blue grizzle's going first. Order doesn't matter, it's just the closest one. And it's not one, there we go. So it knows the drill. And you can see I'm shaking the cup a little more this time. Really, I'm not doing it that much. The Pigeon's shaking it a little bit too. Kind of a joint effort there. But it just helps stimulate them to feed. You want some more? Find the hole. You want to put the in there so you can see. Oh, now it's done. You want some more? Come on. Alright, it might be done. Yeah, add a little more and do the red grizzle, red check, whatever it is. I think it's a grizzle. Come on. There we go. Put it up to the top so you can see. And you should be able to see some bubbles popping up. You definitely can when they're younger and it's more liquidy. I'm not seeing them yet here, but there's one. I don't know if y'all saw that, a bubble just popped up. That's a sign they're eating, but I've got my fingers on its crop. I can feel it. Its crop filling up with food as it eats. That's about what it's going to eat there. This blue grizzle's crawling around and causing trouble. Pour the last of this in, but I made a little too much this time. That other bird's not eating that much. I don't know. It's doing pretty good so far. Anyways, let's see there. They've wasted a little bit. See if I can't get them to eat the rest of it. Between the three of them. And I'm holding them over the sink for obvious reasons. They're making quite a mess. They're actually being pretty well behaved this time. So we wasted a little bit there, unfortunately, but it happens. Better to make too much than too little. You can see how big its crop is, hopefully. And with white birds, it is going to stain their feathers a little bit, but it'll start to fade after they wean, and once they molt out, of course, it's gone altogether, but it won't be too noticeable after a couple of weeks since they've weaned. So. A little bit on your shoulder. And other than that, it's just cleanup, which is pretty simple. Most of it can just be rinsed away. It's just ground up grains, but they did poop on the counter, so I kind of take care of that. But that'll be it. Alright, so that's it. They're back in here now. A couple things I didn't mention while I was showing you how to feed them. You're supposed to have the formula at like 107 degrees. Is what I'm thinking. I think that, if I remember correctly, that's what it is. They're incubated at 100 degrees. As long as you've got it somewhere right around there, it should be good. It's not going to matter at all for this baby or the other two. Probably any of them at this point. But for that younger one I was showing you, it's more important, and it's especially important when they first hatch. But after they get past 2 weeks, it doesn't matter nearly so much. So I said hot. That's what I mean by hot. Should probably be specific there. Also, a new danger to them I've found. Of course, you want to keep them away from dogs and cats. You wouldn't want to go spraying bathroom spray or anything above them. Stuff in the air can poison birds a lot more easily than people. You want to keep them away from all those obvious dangers. But one thing I hadn't ever thought of before that I've run into this time, I've never had a problem with it in years before, but it's happening over and over again now, is hair. I have two sisters. They have long hair. Goes down most of their back, so their hair is a couple, 2 feet long or whatever. Doesn't, wouldn't have normally given it much thought, but actually, I found a hair wrapped around this pigeon's foot. It was wrapped around its toes and its foot, and it was starting to cut off circulation. You could see it wasn't too bad yet, but it was obvious that it was starting to cut into its toes, and I had never noticed it. I mean, who would think to look at the pigeon's feet and check to make sure there were no hairs wrapped around its feet? Not something you would think about, but I got the hair off, and it's fine now. But be careful of that kind of thing. Also, I actually found a hair sticking out of that little younger one out of its nose. I don't know how it got there. I pulled it out of the incubator, and there was a hair sticking out of its nose, and I pulled it out, and there was like an inch of hair going down its throat. So, from its nose. So, watch out for that kind of thing. I wouldn't have thought that it would be a problem before, but as it turns out, the hairs can be kind of dangerous. So, anyways, hope y'all enjoyed that. Feel free to leave comments if you got any questions, or if you're interested in the 2 birds I'm selling. Obviously, pigeons make good pets. Y'all have seen Willie. Willie's great, even though he's an outside pigeon. They're easy to train. Quiet. An adult pigeon is quieter than these babies are. Once they stop squeaking like this, they'll be a lot quieter. You all know that. Y'all been watching my videos. So they do well inside. So if anyone is interested, feel free to let me know. But like I said, Davidson County, North Carolina. If you're not willing to drive to Davidson County, don't bother. So I'm not shipping them or anything. So that's that. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more videos. Hopefully they'll be sooner rather than later. I know I've been busy. Thanks for watching.